We're here, and it's time to round out 2022. In this last stretch of the year, I beat... Wait, is that right? 4 games? Oh. Well, in my defense, classes started right in September. And then, when I had free time, it was mostly taken up by homework. Life happens, I guess. Again, if you're finding this randomly, I made videos about the rest of the games I had played this year, and they're probably in the cards or in the description or in my channel or wherever the hell you want to look. Without any further delay, the first game I beat in September was Splatoon 3! As this game was ramping up to release, I had the opportunity to play the Splatfest demo with a bunch of my friends, and it was a super fun time. I was already going to get the game when it came out, but that night pretty much solidified my pre-order. I also got through the main campaign of the game pretty quickly. The story was really well put together, and it's really clear we've come a long way since 2015. The level structure was based off of Octo expansions, and the levels themselves were fun. Some more than others. The concept of the setting, which while neat, was scary as hell if you put more than 1 second of thought to it. The final boss was a blast to fight against as well. And not to mention that your small fry friend, which I dubbed my Double T, was one of the best partners a squid could ask for. Though, that final, secret level can't be punted into the stratosphere. Shit's hard. After beating Splatoon 3, I didn't really have a game I wanted to start since I was so busy with schoolwork. So I just decided to play games I had already started. One that I started in July, but somehow got done in this part of the year, was Pokemon Puzzle League. I started this game on a complete whim, in the few days before Xenoblade 3 came out. Pokemon Puzzle League was something that intrigued me, as I understood the basics of the panel-to-pawn gameplay, but not the intricacies. While the anime remixes were absolute ear candy. Oh dear god, is this game trial by fire. While I did just fine in normal mode, my ass was not prepared for what was contained in hard mode. Like, I don't want to talk about my abuse of these suspend points, but it was pretty extensive. Somehow, I had a combination of understanding the game more and sheer dumb luck, and that's what got me through the hard mode of the game. Even with the frustrations of the CPU and not entirely understanding the game until the very end, I really enjoyed my time with Pokemon Puzzle League, and sometimes I'll even find myself going back to it for a casual match or two. But Aqua, they're very hard mode. No. Generation 9 of Pokemon was something that my friends and I were very excited for. For me especially, the game came out right when my school let out for the holidays, so I had no excuse to not play this game on release. And despite running into the launch day issues and funny glitches, I had virtually no problems running the game glitch-wise. While the graphics could be argued as subpar, the absolute joy of exploring a fully open-world region teeming with Pokemon everywhere was just a sight to behold. Not only that, but the co-op in this game is insanely fun. Being able to just run around with my friends and show each other our Pokemon, get trade evolutions and exclusives out of the way, and so much more. These memories were something I always wanted to have as a little kid, of just being able to play along with everyone. These games will forever hold those memories for me now, of the first Pokemon generation I didn't experience alone. In fact, it's these friends that allowed me to have the resources to fully complete the Pokédex for the first time in a main series game. And that alone is special. While there were a few things I wish the game did, like level scaling gym leaders and minor bosses, the rest of the game was very well done. Terrestrialization adds a new depth to battling and a mind games along with it, which makes it a great generational mechanic. Not to mention the final act of the story is the best one since Generation 5. If you know Gen 5, that says a lot. Overall, I really enjoyed my experience, and after hearing that one of my friends played the game recently and didn't experience any of the glitches or issues, it makes me want to replay through this generation to gain that new perspective. An adventure without some of the mishaps. And while I may not get the DLC day one, I do await what new adventures my friends and I will go on in the world of Pokemon. The last game I beat, once again, was a PS4 game. One that one of my best friends recommended to me at the start of the year. It's time to finally go through with it. Wait, what's happening? 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is a very unique game. As the name suggests, there are 13 main characters in this game. You heard me. Not 1, not 2, not even 5. It's a wonder that Atlas got 13 characters to not only be protagonist material, but feel relevant and important to the overall plot. The plot, which I think is best to go in completely blind, is surprisingly good, full of so many twists and turns. The gameplay itself was fun too, though most of the playtime is spent in the story of the game, rather than the gameplay of the game. Those who have played this game before understand what I'm saying here, but everyone else, this probably sounds like garbage. The other mode that was required for credits is a nice break between the heavy chunks of plot you have to go through, though. The alternating perspectives of each character also provided unique eyes on different situations, sometimes even going through the same event as 2 different characters. There's not much else I want to say about this game, purely because it's played or watched best when you have as little information going in as possible. But I'm glad I closed out 2022 with this gem of a game. That's all for the games I beat. But it's not everything that I played. Since this is a bit of a short game log, I figured I'd talk about the games that I started but dropped for one reason or another. Or the games that are just on a never-ending grind. First off, during September, I picked up the first Octopath game again. And for the first time, I ended up not deleting my save file and just decided to play through the game where I left it off. I got way farther because of this, but the fact that I had kinda messed up when playing the game initially made me not as interested in keeping up with the game again. What do I mean by that? Well, while the individual stories were interesting, only a few really intrigued me, and everything else kinda felt like a chore. This meant I only had a few characters in the party, and was doing their stories, because they were fun. It got to the point where I was essentially stuck, with all the characters in the game way below the recommended level. This meant I had to grind, for a long time, and I typically don't mind grinding as long as either I have a distraction, or the gameplay is fun. Sadly, this fell into the one time where I didn't have a great distraction, and while Octopath's gameplay is fun, it got really repetitive really quickly when it came to grinding levels. During this time, I was also alerted to the mobile game, which was good fun while I played it. The story there actually hooked me a lot more than base Octopath, and I don't know what that says. I ended up fully dropping Octopath sometime in October, and the mobile game I quit playing at the start of 2023. I also played The Binding of Isaac on and off again this year. I've always loved this game, and was slowly making my way through the Repentance DLC. I even have a long overdue video in the works where I played Green Mode with my friend coaching me. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding! At this point, my one reason for not playing is because I have to grind the Greed mode to unlock the Holy Mantle, so I can start doing the Lost Sunlocks. Yeah, maybe one day I'll get back on the grind. I also purchased Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition around my birthday this year. I had both versions of this game in my teenage years, the original Wii U and Legends on the 3DS. But the combination of not having the Legends DLC and my 3DS rapidly aging made me buckle down and get the game for the Switch. It's good fun, as always. The only thing stopping me from beating it is my self-imposed conditions. Get the best weapon ranks for the weapons I enjoy the playstyle of, which requires me to delve pretty deep into adventure mode. I'm somewhere in the Wind Waker map as of now. Yeah, a long way to go, that's for sure. The last game I'll talk about is Shin Megami Tensei 5, a game another best friend of mine recommended to me. While I enjoyed the time I was playing through it, I decided to play this game in June, when I was also focusing on Yakuza 3. And by the time Yakuza 3 was done, I got busy, and by the time I wasn't busy, Xenoblade was less than a week away, so the game faded into the background. I was really enjoying it too, and I do genuinely want to continue it. But I have a lot of other JRPGs in the backlog and on the horizon for release, even while I'm typing up the script. One day, it'll be done. I promise. And with that, that is all of the games I played in 2022. I think I picked some really great games to round out the year with. As for overall highlights, I'd have to give the spotlight to the following games: Legends Arceus, Episode Ignis, Ace Attorney 4, Tales of Arise, Xenoblade 3, Birth by Sleep, Pokemon Violet, and 13 Sentinels. All of these games were just good, and I want to either play them again myself or witness others playing through them. But with the year coming to a close, I had some huge stuff coming up in my personal life. Which begs the question, What games will I beat in 2023? Only time will tell, I guess. So, thank you for watching. And, if you want, join me in seeing what experiences I go through next. I promise, it'll be a pretty wild ride.